You wake up every morning with the chance to be something. You go to sleep every night having been something. Your alarm sounds at 6 a.m., and in that sliver of a second, when you make that first choice of what you're going to do when you wake up, you've been something. In those first couple of seconds of the black and early morning, you've chosen and you've been something. Our lives are riddled with choices, and all day, every day, you're choosing. Sometimes we think we don't have the chance to choose who we are. I can hear myself saying it. I'm too tired, I have too much homework, there's too much on me right now to be anything besides busy. We're all so overwhelmed, we're so involved, we're so this, we're so that we convince ourselves that we're locked, caged in our own schedules, that we're powerless to decide who we get to be. This couldn't be further from the truth. Let's start over. If we think about that alarm, if we think about that choice, if we think about the enormous opportunity we just had to choose anything we wanted, and the infinite opportunity we still have ahead of us to choose what we think, what we do, what we say, who we are next, I think we'll come to realize that our ability to choose who we are is not restricted at all. When it comes to who we are, it's not limitation we experience, but radical freedom. So who will you be? As we live our lives with opportunity hanging in every shred of every second, what will we be? This year, as Second Baptist School, who will we be together? As we explore who we're going to be this year, I have two requests: that we be present and be bold. Whether it's your first day of kindergarten or the first day of your senior year, whether you're a parent or a grandparent, a teacher or administrator, even if you're just someone who's lost on the way to the A building, I'm going to challenge you to actually be here. I believe that too often our human ability to feel for other people is hindered. We get so caught up inside whatever it may be, ourselves, our screens, our schedules, that we're not present in the lives we're living. We'll take a quiz, talk to friends, drive to work, eat a snack, read a book, thank a teacher, do homework, and all without a thought of what our lives are for, who we are. It's just automatic. We begin to spend our lives this way. We'll be going somewhere and then leaving somewhere without ever having actually been anywhere. I'm challenging us to make the choice to be present. Whoever you are, whatever your plans, let's be here. So what does being present look like? How might we, as Second Baptist School, be present this year? I'd venture to say that we're present when we listen, and I think God agrees. Proverbs 1:5 says, "The wise listen and add to their learning." When we listen, we learn. When we talk, we don't. When we listen to people, we learn their stories. We let their lives soak into our hearts. You see, when we don't listen, we lose our capacity for love. When we don't listen, it's like we build a fence around our hearts and don't allow the lives of our friends and families to touch those tender places that make us human. But when we keep our ears open, we keep our hearts vulnerable. We're present when we listen. And when we listen, we're able to love. This year, this means listening right here as you walk the halls of Second Baptist, in the brick-paved pathways of the lower school, in the carpeted corridors of the middle school, in the 6-storied hallways of the upper school, when you put your foot down, with every step you take, walk with purpose. Make being present your purpose. Because when we choose to be present, we have no choice but to be love. This year, this means being present enough to notice the person walking next to you as you make the walk to math class, and being present enough to taste the words falling off your tongue, because they might hurt someone else, and being present enough to recognize that the people standing in front of you are worth more than the time spent on your phone. Did you get that, Kara? And being present enough to enjoy these precious SBS moments, because while time is fleeting, memories are forever. Be present. James 1:19 says, "My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry." Be quick to listen and slow to speak. As we work to really be present this year, I want to challenge us to put ourselves on the receiving end of life. I know at Christmas we're told to give more than we receive, but for our purposes, let's scrap that. Do the reverse. Let's receive from others more than we seek to be received. Let's listen to others more than we seek to be heard. And I think if we open our ears more than we open our mouths, we might better understand the purpose of our words. Let me explain. This summer, toward the end of June, an MRI scan found 4 stress fractures in my right foot, and I had to spend late June and most of July in a boot and on crutches. Moving anywhere was a production, so I did a lot of sitting. I got to thinking, and I realized this. When you don't use something, you discover the purpose of it. I'd never understood the purpose of my right foot with such clarity as I did after those weeks of not using it. Actually, my family, who wheeled me around and fetched my crutches and essentially assumed the role of my right foot, has never understood the purpose of a human's right foot so clearly. As frustrating as these couple of weeks were, I think the experience was a proof of concept to an interesting idea. This idea that not using something clarifies that object's intended role. What if we applied this discovery? As we work to really live by listening this year, what if we were intentional about talking less? Figuratively, what if we handicapped our mouths for a second and challenged ourselves to listen more than we speak? I believe that if we did that, by not using our words, we too would discover their purpose. And knowing their purpose, we'd be one step closer to being present. My second request is that as we be present, we also be bold. A couple of weeks after our last day on the SBS campus, I walked into the U.S. Capitol to watch my twin sister, Kara, graduate from the Senate Page School. The prayer delivered by the Senate chaplain, Reverend Black, was really moving, and I want to share a portion of it with you all. With a voice of thunder, he prayed this of the graduating pages. God, when they are too well pleased with themselves, when their dreams come true because they have dreamed too little, when they've arrived safely simply because they've sailed too close to the shore, push back the horizons of their hopes and lead them into a future fueled by faith, focus, and fortitude. I love that. Pushing back the horizons of your hopes, seeing the landscape of your goals right in front of you, picturing that shore and that horizon mapped on your mental canvas, and having the courage to reach into the picture and push back the horizon. Just stretch back its coordinates. Having the guts to take your hand, Nudge back that skyline of possibility and dream big. Be bold. This year at SBS, I want us to be horizon pushers. Think about what you want out of this year and do this. If you hope to become a better athlete or a better artist, push back the horizons of your hopes and be the best. And if you hope to serve your community more, push back the horizons of your hopes and serve the most. And if you hope to lead in the classroom or on the field or on the stage, push back the horizons of your hopes and lead everywhere. Push back the horizons of your hopes in such a way that you sail your vessel in the rough, deep waters, far from the shore, so that when it's your graduation day and you've finished your journey, you're proud of the voyage. Be bold. Parents, faculty, students, there lay before us this morning challenges and truths. Every morning, you wake up to the opportunity to choose who you are. Every morning, you open your eyes to the reality that it's your day. I'm here to tell you that it's morning here at Second Baptist, and it's time to choose. May we all choose to be present and be bold.